Senator Loren Legarda hindi nakapagpigil kay Senator Raffy Tulfo dahil sa kagustuhan nitong may makulong or may masampulan na employer na hindi sumusunod sa law katulad minimum wage. Ngunit sinagot siya ni Senator Loren Legarda at tila pinangaralan pa niya si Senator Raffy na hindi umanudol ang may kapangyarihan magpakulong sa mga employer na hindi sumusunod sa law. Kung hindi ang Department of Justice ang may kakayahan umano magpakulong at hindi sila.
Dole, can I get assurance from you guys by next year, meron na po natuluyan na kasuhan na employer na nang api sa kanyang mga trabahador, meaning hindi po nagbigay ng tamang pasweldo. Give me an assurance ngayon pa lamang. Kasi for the past 20 years, like I said, 25 years po ako naging broadcaster. Ganun po ang palaging reklamo, day in and day out. And in fairness naman po sa Dole, tuwing tatawag ako sa Dole, na-action na naman. Pinag-aayos, binabalik yung mga sweldong hindi na ibigay, band-aid solution yon. Yung sa akin, gusto ko po pang matagalan at permanent solution. Can I get that commitment from Dole?
Yes. Mr. President, I think all of us here, whether elected or appointed or working in a bureaucracy, share the same advocacy for workers' welfare, for giving them what is due them, for compliance with the minimum wage, which is already so minimum and not a living wage. Yes, so I speak for them, even if a secretary is not here anymore now for a very urgent personal reason. Yes, to the best of their ability, they will. The budget, and they watch over the courts to ensure, because I cannot promise you, Your Honor, that as I sit here next year, if I'm still the chair of the budget of Dole, na may nakakulong ng isa. Because you will say that I may be lying if next year walang nakakulong.
Okay, pero
I cannot answer you,
Yes, ma'am.
sir, in the affirmative to say, I promise you when the budget comes here, may nakakulong. I as budget chair, cannot do that.
Yes, ma'am.
But we share your advocacy. You're not alone in that fight. We all share the advocacy for workers' welfare and giving them their due wages. That's why we have also been wanting to increase the minimum wage para taasan po ang minimum wage nila para maging living wage. Napag-usapan po yan ng mahaba sa hearing. At may mga naka-file na admin cases, kung may criminal cases at nasa mga korte, I'm not certain whether the Dole personnel here can actually interfere. So I cannot assure you na may nakakulong. Kasi kung sabihin kong oo para lang mapasa yung budget, para na akong nambola sa inyo. I don't want to do that.
No, what I'm
Yes.
trying to say here, Madam Sponsor, Mr. President, is merong kasong na i-file na dapat. Kasi mukhang wala atang kaso na i-file. Merong nga monitoring,
There are
meron
cases.
kayong target, inspection, and all. Pero marami, I'm sure sa mga ginawa niyong pagbibisita, pagmamonitor, marami kayong nakitaan dyan ng mga kumpanya na talagang nag-violate sa batas natin, sa labor law natin.
evidence, yeah.
So ang tanong ko talaga, meron na bang naiakyat man lang sa
Yes.
korte?
Mr.
Kung meron,
President.
ilan po, para kung meron mga na-pending, ako na po magpa-follow up, I'll help you out na para i-ensure ko na yung kasong yun hindi natitenga lang dyan sa korte, yan po ay gugulong at meron masampulan at meron makulong. Kasi hanggat wala pong nakukulong na mga among balasu, salbad, mga masamang amo, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung gagawin pang-api.
Yes. Ako po isang ayon sa inyo, pero alam naman po natin na ang DOJ na piskal o yung prosecutor ang siya magtitimbang ng ebidensya whether if a file ito o hindi, di ba po?
Opo.
Nagiging makatotoo ang mga
Opo.
DOLE directors or USEC sa akin na hindi po sila. It will be the prosecutor, it's under the DOJ, who will decide whether the
Precisely.
case will be filed or not.
Exactly.
And so, yes, if there are abuses, since you are very influential in that sphere, and that is your advocacy, which we share with you, maybe the proactive way is to seek the help of the good senator so that through his influence and more than 26 million followers on his platforms, he can help you. Because if I tell you, I assure you, may kulong 1 year from now, then you take me up on that. Hindi po ako ang nagpapakulong o sila po. it is the DOJ, through the prosecutor and the fiscal, that is our judicial process that will weigh the evidence to see if there is enough evidence to file the case. And once it is in the court, again, I cannot expect the good secretary or his ASEX and USEX to be following it up
Okay.
in the respective courts. However, what we could do is inform Your Honor and your office with all cases filed, whether for compliant, the non-compliant employers, and then perhaps you could help, both administrative and possible criminal liabilities.
That's exactly
That's
what
what I can suggest.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I'm talking about. Now, thank you po. Nag-guess na po ako. Yung bang merong po dapat mga kaso nang na-file sa korte. Dahil
There are cases filed in court?
dahil
Do you
dito
have
sa
them
mga
now?
kumpanya na hindi po sumusunod sa batas.
As of now, to their knowledge, there is no criminal case filed in court. There are administrative cases based on their visits and their compliance visits, Mr. President.
Anyway, ako po ay gumagawa ng resolution. Ang tawag po doon ay anti-wage theft law. Para makasuhan ng kaso kriminal ang lahat ng mga employer na hindi po na nagnanakaw sa sweldo ng mga empleyado. But alam naman natin yan, Madam Sponsor, na it will take some time bago yan ay ma-hear hanggang sa may pasa kung may papsa. Pero for the meantime, meron naman talaga tayong batas na dapat implement labor law na nagsasabing ibigay yung nararapat, which is the minimum wage.
Yes.
So gusto ko po, sana may ma-file na kaso by next year at gusto ko makita yung mga file na kaso para ako na po magpa-follow up upang masiguro na talagang gugulong yung kasong na-file. Yun lang po yung point ko.
Yes. The DOLE, insofar as their role will be the witnesses, Mr. President.
Okay.
Again, I reiterate that the proper process through the DOJ would be for the fiscal or the prosecutor to assess the evidence and to file the case. And the DOLE will be a witness. What we can do is to give you all the cases, administrative in nature, that are non-compliant. And then we see how it can be developed into a criminal case, right? But depending again on the prosecutor who will weigh the evidence and decide whether a case will be filed. And once filed, we will see in which court it will raffled off, right? And that's a long process.
I know.
If Your Honor and your office and regional offices nationwide and with your vast influence can help, we would be very happy.
Okay.
Ulitin ko po, kaisa po niyo ako sa inyong advokasya para bigyan ng hustisya at karampatang benepisyo ang ating manggagawa. As I said many times today, they're the engine of our socio-economic development. So we must protect them.
Okay.
Unfortunately, and I'll be very truthful, it's a long process. And I would like to see the non-compliant employers, yes, charged. And so that it would be a lesson learned, that's what you're saying, for all the others to comply with the law. Because napakaliit na nga ng minimum wage, hindi pa living wage, hindi pa binibigay ng buo. I support you and I will be co-author of with your permission, of your bill on wage theft. Because I recall, when you were not yet senator, when we were before the campaign, you told me one of the first bills you will file is that bill. Yes. It's been 1 year and a half. Yes.
Nasa committee na yun.
Yes.
And,
we will support you there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nasa committee na po yun. Hinihintay ko lang po ma-hear yun. Hindi naman po akong chairman. Ako po ay vice chairman lamang.
May I suggest again,
already
Mr.
forwarded
President?
to the committee and I'm still
Yes.
waiting na yun po ay ma-hear.
Majority Leader, magandang i-prioritize. So, may I suggest also, Mr. President, that if it is a priority measure, I share your advocacy. And if the chair of the committee would be willing to create a subcommittee, pwede po niyong i-hearing yon. Para po, bago sa susunod na taon, nakaharap ko po kayo sa budget ng DOLE na isabatas na yan. Para sabi nyo, may ngipin ang batas. Kasi ang DOLE, hindi nila kayang saklawin ang trabaho ng DOJ na siya pong gagawa ng kaso at sila po ang nanunungkulan dun sa pag-usad ng mga na-file na kaso. Pero kung meron na kayong batas na wage theft, and I agree with you in concept, then that would be very helpful.